It's probably a good time to point out again, hey, this is a 1980s Now podcast where we talk about how the 1980s is still relevant today.
Do you need me to point out? I mean, we had such a fascination with Sasquatch and Bigfoot in the 1980s. He was even a character on The Bionic Man, for crying out loud.
I'm not complaining a bit.
So many In Search of and various shows like that, showing terrible footage of
Unsolved Mysteries,
there you go.
Time Life,
Hey, in other 1980s news, as reported by the BBC, we've got a sad story here. 2 men were found dead while searching for Bigfoot. So of course, immediately I thought about John, but not because of his love of Bigfoot. It should be great
because he hopes I die in the woods.
Not wishing ill upon him or anyone for that matter. I feel bad for these guys, but I don't know. It should have been anticipated, I suppose. Well, according to authorities in Washington State, 2 men from Portland, Oregon, were found dead after a 3-day search was launched on Christmas Day. After a family member reported that the pair had not returned from a trip to the Gifford Pinchot National Forest to search for proof of the mythical hairy forest-dwelling bipedal primates.
That's a lot of adjectives.
Bipedal? Bipedal. Bipedal primates. Now, first of all, look, I know how we are, so it's not like I want to just goof on these guys. I don't.
Right.
But you got to imagine this. Look, it's sad that this family member had to be like, well, where are these 2 guys whose identities we don't know yet?
Right. Yeah.
But the last words were to them, because we know this, were, hey, we're going to go out and look for Bigfoot. We'll be back. And I don't know what my reaction is. I think if I were these folks, I don't know. I'd be like, you know what? Maybe not now. Maybe not ever. Maybe stay for Christmas. Christmas is obviously right around the corner. Maybe bring a coat. I mean, these guys, it turns out, were ill-prepared for what they were about to face. Cap?
Yes, and wasn't there a weather warning. There was a severe weather warning. Yeah, it's good to pay attention to stuff like that.
Well, and you got to wonder, maybe that was, like you look at the almanac and find out when it's good to go fishing. It might be that they're like, oh, well, maybe when it's stormy or overcast, maybe that's good Sasquatching weather or something. Maybe they chose to go because of the severe weather. I don't know. I'm not saying that I've done all the Sasquatch research on how to find them, but I've done some. But it could be that they actually chose to go then, but were ill prepared for the severe conditions. Yeah.
I love how you turned that into a verb to go Sasquatching.
Sasquatching.
I think that is what.
Good weather for Sasquatching.
I think that is what it's called, Kat. Yeah, like fishing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right, it's like frog gigging. I'm going out trying to find some wildlife of this variety.
You know, I think maybe I'm just trying to clean myself up in this new year here. I just tossed a joke out that I normally would say.
It's very mature of you.
You're leaving us curious.
No, you don't want to know.
No, okay, all right.
It's akin to some joke your husband would tell us, probably.
Oh no.
That means it's good.
Yeah, the weather was bad. It turns out conditions in the Cascade Mountains had been frigid in the days before and during the search, which included snow, freezing rain, and temperatures falling below freezing. I think the one tragic thing about this is it puts a number of other folks in danger as they go looking for these 2 folks who were on this hunt.
Yes, that's the problem. Yeah.
And over 60 volunteers searched with aircraft and dogs in heavily wooded terrain and brutally cold weather conditions. And according to the Skamania, I'm going to say Skamania County Sheriff's Office, quote, the deaths appeared to be due to exposure based on weather conditions and ill-preparedness, end quote. Yeah, not a surprise.
Exposure to Bigfoot or weather? Is it?
They didn't have Bigfoot fighting armor on. Like that bear guy. Remember that bear man? What was that? You need that bear suit so you can fight bears?
like you, I don't want to make light of these gentlemen that lost their lives, obviously, out in the wilderness. But I do think it was disrespectful they didn't assume maybe they ran into Bigfoot. Like look, they're out there doing that thing. Why wouldn't your first assumption be these guys were successful in their endeavors and maybe that's why they're not back? That's not what they assume. They're in the storm. They probably succumbed to. I think it's disrespectful that these Bigfoot hunters, they didn't have to prove they weren't killed by Bigfoot, that it was something else. They assumed it was that.
Right. Yeah.
But then they found out that it wasn't Bigfoot, probably.
Yeah. I mean, they proved it later, but.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Maybe. Or, to John's point, did Bigfoot make it look like they died of exposure?
He has ice breath. That's what you didn't know.
That's what I was picturing. That's what I'm
like
picturing,
Superman.
Yes.
And then he lays the bodies out in a way that they were huddling for warmth or something.
Right.
Maybe they had coats on. He took the coats off of them. Marcus says, out of reverence for their nonsense, they should have been left out as Bigfoot feed.
Well, we don't know that's what he eats.
That's true. Yeah, there's no.
Here's a twist. Turns out they were abducted.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
And redeposited, of course.
Yeah.
So it turns out that there's hundreds of sightings of Sasquatch reported in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, good. Here comes my favorite part of this story. Keep going, Will.
Well, it might not be. Well, we're going to take a little. We're going to diverge from the main story for a moment.
All right, I'll hang in there.
Yes.
In the Pacific, so yeah, there's hundreds of sightings there in that Pacific Northwest, which is the northwest of the United States and the western area of Canada. And it seems like, based on doing a little digging, that maybe John knows this already, that the origins of this particular cryptid began in British Columbia.
Yeah.
There have been 37 notable Sasquatch sightings near the town of Harrison Hot Springs, which is in BC, since 1900. Regular sightings have kept the popular legend alive, but now it's being told from an indigenous perspective. The change is driven by the public interest in the idea of a Sasquatch rooted in spirituality and symbolism rather than sensationalism. Turns out the creature's considered sacred to the West Coast First Nations, particularly the Stahelis, who have lived in the Harrison River Valley for at least 10,000 years. In fact, the name itself, Sasquatch, is the anglicized version of Saskets, which means hairy man in the Stahelis dialect. Cool. And according to Kelsey Charlie, a Stahelis band counselor, he says, quote, the word comes from a mountain that's called Saskets Tell, the place where the Sasquatch gather.
Right, which means hairy mountain. We got it.
Yeah. Oh.
John, are you booking your trip? Are you going to the hairy mountain?
I've spent some time in the Pacific Northwest, not Bigfoot hunting, but
Okay.
I loved it when I would go there for business. The further northwest, if you went to Oregon or you went to Washington State or whatever, the density of awareness of Bigfoot as a cryptid, like it goes from being something you hear about to something that's in the convenience stores, right? It's very frontmost in their mind. It's not like, oh yeah, remember there was a legend of Bigfoot. Like it's out there because, as you said, it kind of originated from there. You know, down here in the Southeast, we have the skunk ape, which is really kind of an Evergladesy kind of Florida thing, which is a variant of, yes, you know, well,
skunk
really?
ape?
Yes. Well, Yeti is effectively like a winter region Bigfoot.
Right.
And in the very humid, arid, hot areas, we have the skunk ape, which is another variant or subspecies or something of Bigfoot. Yep.
Do you want to share some of the dude powder with him? It sounds like he might need it. Skunk ape. Oh man.
Yeah.
And there is some sort of unifying theory or thought that these are folks, these are creatures that are part of the same species of great apes that have been, forgotten by history or remain so, secluded, living among us in our various lands. So yeah, they have different names in different areas and maybe very different. No, it sounds like I'm buying into this bullshit. All right.
What? No, it's all making sense.
Right.
See how much logic it makes when you talk about it?
All right. Anyway, on to the part John wanted to talk about. In Washington State, it turns out there have been so many sightings of Sasquatch that some communities have taken measures to protect the hairy mythological creature.
Whoa.
Mythological.
Whoa.
You don't establish laws to protect mythological things. They're pretty safe because they don't exist.
Wow.
I got to look up this law.
This is belief.
Keep going. You'll finish the law. Go ahead. Keep going. Keep going.
All right. Yeah. So in Skamania County, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, where the place where the pair went missing, a person could get a year in jail or $1,000 fine.
$1,000 fine for fucking with Bigfoot.
You mess with one of them.
Thank you. Vindication.
You get penalized if the folklore creature is, quote, harmed. Yeah.
Don't do it.
I would like to have been on city council. There's got to be a guy like me there that's like, hang on. if we're doing this, let's add unicorns and a Loch Ness monster, and let's just put them all in there. If any,
Hey, we're not putting riders on my Sasquatch bill. You open your own bill.
that's pork. You're adding pork to my bill.
How about the Jersey Devil?
Yeah, why not?
Let them worry about that. Look, there's no Jersey Devils in the Pacific Northwest. What's wrong with you, Cat?
And they have no problem adding it, Your Honor. Now, look, I just got this story. Marcus just sent this to me. It's a riff off of this thing. It turns out that while these folks were searching, and I know John thinks this is a bullshit joke I'm making up. No, this is serious. That thieves, this is this headline. I haven't seen it till just now. Thieves stole gear while the rescue team recovered the 2 men who went looking for Sasquatch.
Oh.
Yeah. So let's see. The 2 men, blah, 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 blah. Huh. Well, that's the whole story. That's not very much of it.
Thieves stole what gear?
The thieves
rescuers gear? Or
thieves cut through a 10-foot barbed wire fence and stole gear from trailers.
Wow.
The rescue team said the search and rescue team at the county's office is facing a significant setback. Thieves stole equipment while crews were out recovering the bodies of the 2 Portland men who went missing. Jeez Louise.
Again, they leap right to thieves. It could be Sasquatch tearing through the fence and stealing stuff.
Yes.
Does Sasquatch get fined for messing with their stuff?
No.
For stealing?
Sasquatch is above the law.
Yeah,
He's protected wildlife.
Sasquatch is not bound by the laws of mankind. Cat.
Come on, Cat.
He's bipedal.
Hairy man makes his own laws.
Oh, man. That'd be something if Sasquatch was stealing the gear to try to slow them down after making it look like they died from exposure. Oh.
See how smart they are?
Yeah.
That's why I got to protect them.
If they've remained hidden for 10,000 years, well, I guess not entirely, because like we mentioned, there's these native people that, have been aware of them for that long. I'm talking like they really exist. This is a bunch of bullshit.
I wonder if they call on each other to help create distractions. Like, Skunky, I need you to create a disturbance so I can steal some gear.
Skunk Abe, I need you to do some skunking. Skunk powers activate.
Y'all smell that?
Yeah.
It's coming from this direction. Let's head over here. Yeah. Thanks, Skunky.
Well, speaking of
pragmatically, it's quite possible that they allowed these laws to take place because I'm
listening.
Because people like Will like to goof on Bigfoot and they put on costumes and pretend blah, blah, blah. And they might get shot, right? If they're out there perpetrating, like they are Bigfoot. And so you got to protect Bigfoot. And by association, that protects knuckleheads who dress up like Bigfoot so they're not shot by hunters. So
okay. All right.
It protects the real Bigfoot and the fake ones equally.
I guess. I don't know. I'd have to look at it specifically. It does really seem like, at least based on this little bit we got, you'd have to be a real Bigfoot to be able to, claim damages, I guess.
Maybe you just have to be bipedal and a little hairy.
Maybe.
That'd be me. I'd pass it.